I want to start this video by saying that I'm not asking for money and I'm not asking for sympathy. What I'm asking for is if you are a young 14, 16, 21-year-old girl, listen up. I drove to the grocery store. I need to grab some milk and bread and a couple things, flipped open the bank app on my phone, and I've been sitting in my car crying ever since because I never have enough money. And why do I never have enough money? Because when I was a 19-year-old girl, I fell in love. My Mormon faith told me that I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom. I got married. I started having babies. I dropped out of college. I never had a career. My only jobs that I ever had in life were a waitress at the Olive Garden and managing a pretzel maker in a mall. Oh, my first couple years of marriage, I decided that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I bought a windshield business. I was 20. And my Mormon stake president reminded me that women weren't supposed to work, so I quit my own business, handed it over to my husband, took my name off of it. I would work our family business throughout the next 24 years of my marriage, but I never got paid. I didn't have a salary. My name wasn't on it. I literally worked for room and board. That's it. I would eventually also launch a custom home building company with my uncle as the architect and my friends as the builder, my designs, my realtor. But again, because my husband was the man, his name was on all of the projects, his name was on the business. I remember one of the last custom homes that I built, we sold it and made about a $260,000 profit. That money all went into his bank account. I didn't even have a bank account. I should have said that in the beginning. I never had a bank account. He would give me little envelopes of cash to go grocery shopping with. Anyway, that house sells, the money goes in the bank. I just asked if I could buy myself a piano with the money. I had worked on building that house for 2 years. All of the money went into his bank account. Nothing was under my name. I got a piano and I got a free house to live in. And I got groceries. So I found myself divorced at age 44 just 5 years ago, and within just a few months I was living in my car while he made about $250,000. He would eventually quit that job so that he wouldn't have to pay alimony and child support. He has only paid alimony one time ever in the 5 years since we've been divorced. Once ever. Right after my divorce, I remember being really confident about my ability to get a job, so I put together a resume. I remember one of the first interviews that I had as management position for a windshield company, similar to the one that we had run. And the man actually laughing as he was interviewing me, like he was really sympathetic. He wasn't being a douchebag, but he was laughing. And he's like, so let me get this straight. You helped manage your family windshield business with your husband, but you were mostly a stay-at-home mom, and all you did was like the marketing and the hiring, firing, and some of the strategy for the business. But it became really apparent that I needed so many more skills to have any type of management job. I couldn't even work the basic computers. He told me in the interview, please don't apply for any more jobs like this. You are not qualified at all. You're not capable of doing this unless you go back to school and get your degree or get some different experience. And so I ended up, my first job after my divorce was $11 an hour, 4 hours a day, working as an assistant to a school teacher in an elementary school. I made $44 a day. For 24 years, I lived in $1 million homes. I vacationed all over the world. I spent my summers in Hawaii. I could buy myself $500 jeans, diamond tennis bracelets. We had boats and RVs and whatever I wanted. And it never bothered me once that my financial security was dependent on that man being in love with me. I never realized that him liking me or not liking me or finding me sexy or attractive or interesting determined whether or not my children could eat, whether or not I could buy myself a fucking jug of milk and a loaf of bread. So I had my 5th surgery in 2 years, 2 weeks ago, and I'm supposed to be in bed resting, and I can't because I've worked 7 days a week since my divorce 5 years ago, which is why I'm covered in paint and looking like crap. We actually have a 4-day weekend here in Tucson, and since my partner isn't working, he's working on furniture flip partner projects with me. I have no retirement. I have no savings, no education, no resume. I was almost a straight A student throughout all of my education. I went to college at age 17. I had dreams for my future. I'm working so hard to get myself out of just perpetual side hustle hell. There's not a day that goes by that I don't wonder why. Why I didn't have a fucking backup plan. Why my kids eating and having stability was dependent on a romantic relationship. Why nobody told me to put money in the bank? Why nobody told me don't have babies until you have an education and some experience? Don't have so many kids. I wish somebody had told me to put my name on our vehicle loans and to put my name on our houses. I wish somebody had told me that it's okay to put those babies in daycare for a couple days a week and go to college and have a job. And I think I need to do an entire trad wife sequel, because you can be happy and rich and loving your life like Ballerina Farm until the guy walks out. I want you guys to imagine for a minute, even rich Hannah, if Deanna walked out, if all of his financial backing and he had to sell the farm, and then what does she have? Find another rich boy to marry? I just don't want one more woman to DM me, comment, send me their stories, cry to me about how hard it is for them to support their families, and I am so tired of living my own story. We have to make this stop. Raise your daughters to be financially independent. Focus on their futures and educations just as much as you focus on your sons. I wish that someone had done that for me.
All right. So listen, she's not asking for money and she's not asking for sympathy. There was somebody who wrote, I don't feel sorry for women like this. She's not asking for you to feel sorry for her. She's telling her story because she was indoctrinated. Listen, especially if you're Black and you have been getting independence pushed into your mind since you were a child, you don't understand what it's like to be raised in a system in which the norms, remember, everybody has culture. She was raised in a Mormon household, in a Mormon culture, and her being that type of submissive to her husband was the norm. She was advised and she was indoctrinated into this as normal. There are plenty of things that you've been indoctrinated into as quote unquote normal that other people see are not functional. So let's talk about this right here. This is what these types of men want. They want for you to be dependent, completely dependent. They want your ideas to be theirs because they don't have the creativity to do it on their own. They want your resource. They want your labor. They want your creativity. They want that from you. And they want you to be dependent on them to be able to live. They feel that it is their right and their duty as men that they are at the head and the top. And far too many of us women are continuing to push this damn narrative, even to this day. And I've pushed it as well in the past, talking about man should be the head of the household. I don't believe that anymore. Absolutely not. I believe that especially in today's time, that their household needs to be a partnership, that the wife, the husband, the man, the woman, the man, the man, the woman, that the people who are in this marriage need to have a partnership where decisions are made by consensus. But what happens is far too often there are men who want the final say, so they want to have the additional extra leverage. Remember, there are studies that say that men feel a tremendous amount of stress and strain when their woman earns more than 40% of the household income. Why? Because he wants to be able to have that final veto. He wants to be able to have that final power. He wants to be able to put his foot down and the house shake as a result. Look at what happened to her. She said that her children eating depended on whether that man still liked her, found her interesting, or was attractive to her. She was with him for 24 years and she was married at 19. So this is a woman who's in her mid 40s now. So soon as you get a little older, soon as you're not that 19-year-old anymore, then they go like the succubus that they are, looking for a new young lady to suck and siphon from, to squelch her resources from her. So this woman right here, she's just talking because we talked about this earlier, about the elders coming back and coming forth to be able to have these conversations with younger women. She's not asking for your pity. She's hoping that her message can get to someone. And the person who is deciding that they won't empathize with her for whatever reason, you're projecting your stuff onto her because you don't give your own self empathy, that you find it difficult to give empathy out to other people. You see, the thing about it is, I knew from when I saw my grandmother as a little girl with her knee buckling, her high blood pressure, and her various ailments. I knew from when I was a little girl that I wanted something different for me. You see, just like it says inside my affirmations book that's back there, I am the manifestation of an ancestor's dream. So the women who came before me, they did not have autonomy. I made sure that I could make the decisions that I needed to make for me. I made sure that I set myself up so that I could be educated and self sufficient. Why? Imagine if I had been raised in an environment where the women sucked it up and cried alone at night so that I thought, oh, this is the happy home. And I didn't know anything about the real, the real. You see, in Black families, far too many of us couldn't afford to keep these types of secrets. They had to tell what the truth was, especially to the girls, because you see, far too many of these men nowadays were never pulled aside by their grandmother. The grandmothers never taught them the lessons that the grandmothers were teaching to the granddaughters. But then you see, my grandmother didn't have to pull me aside and say nothing to me. All I had to do was look and see, hear her suffering, see her sweating, watch her furrowed brow, the anger, the frustration, the ailments. That's all I had to do was see all of that. And I realized, nah, I want something different for me. Yeah. But imagine if she had kept all of that a secret. This right here, I think, is a tragedy, but it is happening all too often. This is what they want. They want you to suffer without them. And then she says her partner is not working. I don't know what she's doing. I don't know what's going on with her. Maybe she thinks that if she gets a man who is not like her husband, so this man is struggling. Girl, listen, take care of yourself. If this man is not working and he's in your life, he's an albatross. He's like an anchor around your damn neck. Concentrate on your children. She's only been separated 4 years and now she got another man in her life and this man ain't working. Golly. Well, listen, all of our lives are our own and we all got to live and learn. Choose wisely. That's all I can say. Choose wisely.
Be a part of the live show with thousands of other viewers. Go to TonyaTKO.com/text and join the text notification squad and get a text whenever I go live. Support the show and yourself, and I'll see you on the next live broadcast.